Hello everyone, it's March 5th, and it's Fridays with Father, and Fridays with Jonah too. He's just asked to be picked up, see how long he lasts. And it's a beautiful day outside, the sun is out and it's warming up and we feel like there is spring or signs of some kind of life, in the air. So here we are, and I just want to sort of say, as you can see, I'm still surrounded by balloons and birthday celebrations, and the the gifts just keep on coming. And I just wanted to draw your attention to a couple of gifts I just recently received after my birthday. At least I opened them after my birthday, and just very kind of them, really. Somebody gave me this great hoodie sweatshirt, with Welsh rugby, and it's got Welsh rugby and the Welsh dragon on it. Says Cymru am byth. So that I think came off Tom, and again, just super creative. I have no idea where you got it, but I'm impressed by it. So that was that one little gift, and thank you so much. It's very kind, and thanks to all of you who were just so generous during my 55th birthday. But I also got this book arrived in the mail today, and which I'm going to read, and I look forward to reading about it and then telling you about it. I don't know specifically who sent it because it didn't come with a message. Although I have a guess. I can guess who it might come from. Anyway, the book is written by Joan Chittister, okay, and the book is called Two Dogs and a Parrot. Two Dogs and a Parrot, and it says what our animal friends can teach us about life. I imagine a whole lot, actually, a whole lot. So, I'm coming to the end of one book now, so this will be my next thing. I think I know who this came from, and I'll have to check, but thank you anyway. It's a kind of a kind thought, and I do obviously read, and anything which is kind of dog related to a degree, but I know that Joan Chittister is a spiritual writer, a nun, and Kathy Drennan mentioned her during the talk the other day on Tuesday, Attending to the Soul, and so I think it kind of came from that this book has landed in my lap, but we'll see. But anyway, that was a couple of things I wanted to mention, and there were like 2 points I wanted to speak to you about today, really. One is concerning Lent, and I know Lent is going to go quicker than we think, so I kind of want to get in there before it ends, really. So I'm trying to make sure I make all of my points I wanted to share with you. When we're doing this like penance thing, some people are going to mass more often. Some people are praying rosaries. Some people are fasting. I know that because you've told me. So I know what you do, and that's very edifying. So you're doing all these Lenten exercises. You're trying to come closer to God, trying to sort of, put yourself in God's hands more, and it's a great and wonderful thing. The question, I suppose, really, which is, comes from all of this, is, but why are you doing it? Or why are you doing it now? Why now at this time? And why Lent? Why do we have this 6 weeks? Is it just 6 weeks of penitential practices just for the sake of it, or just for fun, or just because we need to do it? What is the reason for it? And the reason I want to say to you quite clearly is encapsulated in 2 words, which comes at the end of Lent. And the reason we do it is the Paschal Mystery. Well, that's 3 words, but actually if you take away the article, it's Paschal Mystery. The Paschal Mystery. Okay, so I want to just touch basically on that, what that means today, so that in some ways we all have a sense of, if we're doing all this stuff during Lent, then it actually has a purpose. Because at the end of Lent, after 6 weeks, we have 3 very important days, 3 very important days, and it's called the Sacred Triduum. Okay, 3 days, sacred 3 days, Sacred Triduum. And during those 3 days, they are dedicated to us as a church, celebrating step by step what is called the Paschal Mystery. So when I say the Paschal Mystery, what do I mean? And just for you simply to remember, the Paschal Mystery is this. It's the Passion, it's the death, and it's the resurrection of Jesus. The Passion, the death, and the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And so at the end of Lent, or rather should I say at the climax of Lent, we have these very three important days during which we as Catholics, we walk with Jesus through his passion, beginning on Holy Thursday, to Gethsemane, and to the following day, when he's been arrested, he's being tried, and he's being crucified and carrying his cross, and then he goes into the tomb, and then on Saturday, we're waiting for him to rise again, and to rise in our hearts. And we as a church, we ritually celebrate those three steps. And that is the reason why we are doing all of this now. Okay? We're not doing it just because it's spring, or we're just doing it because we need a workout. We're doing it because its purpose is so that we can celebrate sincerely and from the heart those three very sacred days, which we call the Sacred Triduum, and in which we celebrate ritually, the Paschal Mystery. All right? So I just want to mention that to you today because it's important. And you may already know it, and if that's the case, I'm sorry. But it's always good to be reminded anyway of why are we doing it, Easter doesn't happen until we actually celebrate the Paschal Mystery in the Sacred Triduum, those 3 days. And those 3 days take place during what we call Holy Week. I mean, everybody knows what Holy Week is, and you may have different ways of celebrating it, but I'm just bringing to your attention how we as Catholics in the church, how we celebrate it. And it's those very 3 days, the Thursday, the Friday, and the Saturday, which are the most important days in the life of the Catholic Church. You may not know that, but they are, okay? More important than anything else, because that's when we put our faith in the God who saves. With Jesus who put himself on the line, and we walk with him. And as we start to make that more a feature of our lives and practice what is the Paschal Mystery in our lives, we see in some ways how the pattern of Christ's dying and rising is very much mimicked or imitated in our own life and our own circumstances. When we start to see things through the eyes of faith more clearly, we see very much how there are many different circumstances in our lives and incidents in our lives through which we experience passion and the suffering of Jesus, and the going to Calvary, carrying a cross, and then dying in some ways, dying to ourselves, dying to our needs, but then as a result, prayerfully coming to see a light, which is the light of Jesus. So that's just briefly, I just wanted to sort of make sure we all know that what the Paschal Mystery is, and how we as Catholics, how we celebrate them, the Thursday and the Friday and the Saturday of Holy Week, what we call the Sacred Triduum. Okay? Now then, I used to have a parishioner, a very faithful parishioner. She was great, and I loved her really. She came to Mass every day, and throughout Lent she'd do the Stations of the Cross every day, and I'd always see her every day. I remember the first year that I was in the parish with her, it was approaching Holy Week, it was just after Palm Sunday, and I said, well, I'll see you Thursday then. And she said, Thursday? She said, what's Thursday? Well, I said, well, it's Holy Week, isn't it? And it's the Triduum. And she turned to me and she said, I don't do Holy Week. And I mean, she wasn't being, funny or anything, or she wasn't trying to be awkward. She just sort of said, man, I don't do Holy Week. And I was just like at first like shocked. Then I thought it was hilarious. Then I was slightly scandalized. And I thought to myself, wow, but you're just very faithful. I didn't say this to her, I was thinking this, I never questioned her. But I just thought to myself, you're a very holy lady. How can you not do Holy Week? How can you miss out Holy Week? And still really be like committed to your faith? How can you not in some ways have experienced ritually, the liturgy of the Lord's Supper and the liturgy of the Passion, the veneration of the cross, and then the Easter Vigil and waiting for the light to shine. All that. How can you not have that in your life, really, and be a Catholic? So I thought it was quite funny, but it was kind of a lesson to me that not everybody has experienced it. So if you haven't experienced it, please do. There are 3 parts to Holy Week, 3 days, Thursday, Friday and Saturday. And we celebrate them here this year at the Church of the Holy Spirit at 7 p.m. on Thursday, at 7 p.m. on Good Friday, and 7 p.m. on Holy Saturday. And I hope you can join us. We will, of course, be live streamed as well, but it's better if you're here with us too, And of course, it's COVID, so we can't, all the bells and whistles that we would normally have, or some of the things you're used to doing here, we can't have because of COVID, but we have the essence, which is the ritual of Christ's passion, death and resurrection here for all of us, for us to celebrate this coming Holy Week. So I hope all of you this year will do Holy Week with me and the Church of the Holy Spirit. I look forward to it. It's the most important time of the year. It's the holiest time of the year, and it's transforming. It changes you. It changes us. It changes the parish. It changes the world. I know you probably think I'm being a bit dramatic, but it does. It's transforming. And so the more you engage in the journey that Christ takes in some ways, the more you too in your own life journey deeper and higher to Christ and his love for us. Okay, so Paschal Mystery. So in the next few weeks, I'm going to talk about the 3 different days. So this time next week, I'm going to talk to you about Holy Thursday. All right? And then the following week, it'll be Good Friday. And the following week, we'll talk about the Easter Vigil on Holy Saturday. So that was the one main point I wanted to share with you today. And the other point I wanted to share was to do with St. Joseph. Yes. Some of you knew and some of you don't know that Pope Francis announced at the end of last year that this year in the church is going to be the year of St. Joseph. Yeah, St. Joseph as in, the husband of Mary. And he is the patron saint of the universal church, of the whole church. And he announced that. And so various people in the parish have said to me, so how are we celebrating, the year of St. Joseph? And to be honest, it caught me off guard because I hadn't really thought about it. I thought, we'd deal with that later. But anyway, so these people reminded me, for which thank you. I thought we have to recognize, his importance in some way this year. And again, because of COVID, we can't have processions and we can't have socials and parties or the Italian tradition of St. Joseph's table. We can't do that or nothing like that. But, what we can have and will have is the celebration of Mass in his honor on his days of the year. So March 19th, we will have Mass, a celebration Mass with music at 9 o'clock in the morning in English, and then at 6:30 p.m. in the evening in Spanish. So hopefully you can come to one of those. And we're going to be, we got some special prayer cards, which we're going to distribute at the celebration for you. And Pope Francis has sort of said that, he's gotten into the habit of saying a special prayer each day to Saint Joseph, and recommends that we do the same too. And the reason why he wants us to have this year as the year of Saint Joseph is that it was 150 years ago that Pope Pius IX named Saint Joseph as the patron of the Universal Church. So he's the patron of all of us, and especially takes care of all of us. So he's not just the patron of the white people or the black people or the poor people or the rich people. He's patron of everybody, and we can always turn to him. And he recommends our prayers to Saint Joseph because he's a great father figure, a great caring father who had as his focus in his life Jesus and Mary. He's very focused on Jesus and Mary, something which we all need. He was somebody who accepted, circumstances in his life which were difficult. He had to do some difficult, tough things. He never complained. He was a very simple person who just worked in the background, in the shadows. An ordinary person. And I think there are lots of ordinary saints among us, and he is the patron of them too. All right, so he wants us to make sure we do something. So we have his feast on the 19th of March, and then again, St. Joseph the Worker on May the 1st. So hopefully we'll have a celebration then too, but at least twice this year we'll be recognizing him. And then something which is a very kind gesture from one of our parishioners. Somebody's donated an image of St. Joseph, a statue, because we didn't have one here. A very nice statue, and we're going to bless that statue, and we're going to display it on his feast day, and you'll be able to bring flowers. I know it's Lent and we don't have flowers during Lent, but it's a solemnity on that day, so we'll have flowers just on that day. And so you might like to bring flowers for St. Joseph on that day as well, and we will gratefully receive them and put them before his statue. But this very kind person has offered to donate a statue, and we've said yes, and on the feast days of St. Joseph we will be bringing out the statue so that we can all venerate him in a way which is dignified and celebratory. So there you are. That's the year of St. Joseph for you, in case you were wondering what it was. And somebody was asking me on Saturday, that why are we having this? And I had to look it up because I didn't realize it was 150 years ago that the Pope made him the patron saint of the Universal Church. So that's that. That's my 2 points, my 2 main points. And just finally to remind you that, we have arranged the Sacrament of Reconciliation for everybody in preparation for the Sacred Triduum and the Paschal Mystery. And here we celebrate them on March 13th. That's a Saturday morning. In English, between 10 a.m. and 12 noon. There'll be 2 priest confessors here, and you're welcome to come and bare your soul and to find God's peace as you celebrate that sacrament with the church. So take advantage of it. In the meantime, be good. I've got my holy hour this evening now with those who are coming, and I believe there's over 100 people registered. So looking forward to that. I'll be praying for you. Please pray for me, and if I don't see you, I'll see you this Sunday at Mass, okay? So be joyful, keep the faith. Cheers.